Catherine, an introvert, usually found her daily commute on the double-decker bus uneventful, a routine with which she had grown comfortable. She would always head to the upper deck, finding solace in the last row's leftmost seat, where she could lose herself in her phone, playing games or catching up on messages. Today, however, will be different. As the bus rumbled along its route, Catherine felt a sudden shift as someone plopped down beside her. She glanced up to see a man with a haversack slung over his shoulder. Despite many empty seats, he chose to sit next to her. Catherine found this strange, but shrugged it off, returning to her phone to ignore his presence. Feeling increasingly uncomfortable, she decided to stop playing on her phone and instead gazed out of the window, willing her stop to arrive in the next 5 minutes. By now, the man had gathered his nerve. The bus took a sharp turn, and Catherine felt something brush against her right arm. She thought it was just the haversack swinging with the motion of the bus, so she ignored the sensation. But when she felt a lingering touch on her arm again, Catherine froze, her heart pounding. She reluctantly looked up, meeting the man's gaze. He grinned lasciviously, and Catherine's unease turned to fear. Trapped against the window with the man blocking her way to the aisle, she quickly shifted away, her voice trembling as she demanded, "Stop touching me." Undeterred, the man's audacity grew. He leaned in, whispering suggestive comments into her ear, his hand wandering to her thigh. Catherine's breath hitched, tears welling up in her eyes as she felt a wave of panic. She looked around desperately, but the upper deck was empty. She knew she had to act. Taking a deep breath, she screamed as loudly as she could, hoping to alert the bus driver. The bus's beeping sound signaled an upcoming stop, and Catherine knew this was her chance. She forcefully stood up, pressing her foot hard on the man's as she tried to escape. The man, sensing trouble, hurriedly stood up too, but Catherine was already rushing down the stairs, her heart pounding. She met the puzzled bus driver halfway, her voice trembling as she recounted the horrifying incident. The driver, visibly agitated, announced the situation to the other passengers. "Everyone, please stay calm. There's been an incident upstairs. I need your help," he said, his voice firm yet reassuring. The other passengers, shocked by the earlier screaming, were even more horrified hearing Catherine's experience. The atmosphere in the bus grew tense. Two kind-hearted girls from Catherine's school exchanged a glance and decided to stay by her side, offering comfort and support. They commended her courage in confronting her assailant. Meanwhile, a male passenger called the police, and another passenger helped restrain the culprit tightly. The man, who had been so brazen moments before, now looked shocked and scared. His earlier bravery had evaporated, replaced by a desperate plea. All the passengers on the bus gave the molester a disgusted look, keeping a wide berth as he was being held down by the other passengers. The bus pulled over at the nearest stop, and the other passengers were transferred to a different bus. Catherine, still trembling, stood with the two girls who had stayed to support her. One of the girls, Alice, shared that she too had been molested on public transport. She had kept quiet during her ordeal and now felt regretful for not speaking up. Alice admired Catherine's courage and wished she had done the same, believing it might have lessened the shame and timidity she felt afterwards. Catherine felt a strong bond with Alice, and they exchanged phone numbers, promising to keep in touch. She also expressed gratitude to all the other passengers for staying with her throughout this harrowing experience. The passengers nodded in acknowledgement and praised Catherine for her clear-headed actions. Catherine called her mother, Amelia, and told her about the incident, who later met them at the police station. Amelia thanked the bus driver and the passengers who had stayed to help her daughter through this horrifying incident. At the station, Catherine felt a sense of security as she saw the concerned looks on a female police officer's face. The officer poured her a cup of tea and gently asked her to share her experience. Catherine, finally feeling safe, let go of her tears she had been holding back and recounted her ordeal on the bus. Hearing this, the police officer consoled her, praising her bravery and resilience. "When things get tough, you have to get tougher," she said, her voice filled with pride. "Life isn't meant to be easy, but but you can make it easier by conquering your fears. Be strong, Catherine. Catherine nodded, her tears slowly subsiding. She knew she had faced one of her greatest fears and come out stronger. With the support of her mother and the kindness of strangers, she found a strength to move forward, determined to never let fear control her again. Resolved to ensure that no one else would experience what she had gone through, Catherine decided to be more aware of her surroundings. She vowed to look up from her phone regularly and observe the people around her. If she notices any man is standing unusually close to another person, whether it's a young child, teenagers, or a young woman, she will keep a watchful eye on him and intervene immediately if necessary. Catherine pledged to stand with anyone who speaks up, ensuring that they will not stand alone. She was also prepared to accept any delays on her bus without complaint, understanding that safety and support were paramount.